Welcome back, guys. My name is Demitry Sebastian.
And I'm Wes Kendall.
And we are back in session where your fitness and lifestyle questions are answered and bro science is put to the test. So, last week, we were talking about the anabolic window.
Yes.
And how awesome it was, and how we all thought we were smart, and how we had really solved it.
And we lost all our gains if we never hit the anabolic window.
Yeah, so I've never gotten any gains, so I must have been missing it every single time. But then suddenly the scientists came out and said, that's not real. And unfortunately, we have to trust the scientists because they went to school for like 9 years and they somewhat know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they instead of partying and going into Old Town, they were like doing homework and
I'll have
studying.
you know that my bachelor's in sociology makes me equally competent.
Yes, yes, of course.
So we decided that we were going to go over some, not necessarily myths, but even just misunderstandings of some training stuff this week. We want to go for a few of those. And then also, this time around, we have our co-producer,
Yes.
Elias Merck. He decided to join us because he was the one who, last time we were recording, was the one who pointed out that when I was talking about, what are they called? Virilli?
Microvilli.
Villi.
Right?
Villi. Yes. So, essentially, I refer to the small, wiggly things in your gut that absorb nutrients as both fingers and pasta. And I was incorrect. And I decided that if he's going to call me out on things, that he might as well be on the microphone and help us out. And he's also going to be reading us the points we're going to go over today.
Hell yeah.
So one less job, and I can stop looking at my phone, start actually looking at the camera.
Yes. Now I can, be less distracted by my phone and text messages and Instagram, all
Engaged.
that stuff. Yes.
Engaged.
Right here.
Engaged. I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
Look at Sly.
Yes. We got it.
All right, cool. So let's go and roll straight into it. Actually, wait. I want to touch on one thing.
Yes.
5-Star had quite a weekend.
We did. It was a championship weekend. We won the overall in a men's physique competition. So shout out to Matt, a trainer, coworker with 5-Star Fitness. He's been working really hard, and he won all of his classes and then took home the top trophy as well. And then shout out to Jens also. He's been working really hard for show. He also placed third in his class, so he did really good, brought home a trophy too. So shout out to those guys.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where it's funny. I was just like, yeah, that hasn't happened for a while. And you're like, yeah, it hasn't happened for anyone, Demitry. Like 5-Star's bringing it in every single year.
We bring we've brought 5 overall so far since I've been around.
That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
So you know where to go if you want to be a winner.
We do competitions too, so not just the lifestyle booty workout. So
there you go. Well, Matt, we are coming for you. I want an interview. I want to talk to you. I want to know how you came out there and had a larger freaking back than everyone on earth. But you could see, it's so big you can see it from the front kind of situation.
Exactly. That's the point.
That was really cool. We're hoping to get to talk to you soon. Wes will find you. And if he doesn't, I know where you work out too.
Yeah, see him every day.
So we're going to go through these right now. And Slice, with your newfound power, you want to go ahead and start us off with the first myth?
Well, speaking of a good back, I'm actually going to skip the first myth and go into wide grip lat pull downs make you wide. And we'll circle back to that first myth.
So we actually talked about this recently because I was the stupid one. So you want to go ahead and explain to us why that might not be what you think it is?
Not just you. All of us did this.
Wide grip, wide back.
Yeah, that's what we all think. We're like, you know what? Oh, and someone in high school probably said, yeah, if you want to get a wide back and you get
It wasn't
super wide,
just high school.
you grab extra wide on the pull down and then pull it down to your chin.
I have been hearing that up until 26. Yeah, until now. That was there's adults who were spreading that. Like Bruce Lee, wide back, wide grip.
Yep, it's like that's what you want. He did it. Well, basically what it does is when you go extra wide and you bring your arms out to the side, you engage a lot more shoulder muscle. And you can feel, put your hands out to the side like a football H, and that rear delt and that neck muscle is going to engage. As opposed to in here, fists in front as a neutral grip or medium grip, that's all lats right there.
So we were talking too, it's pull downs might not even be the best thing. It's like rows.
For lower lats, I would argue that middle and lower lats, you get a lot of that from bench over rowing.
Okay, so bench over rows. What about seated rows? Is that going to turn me into a flying squirrel?
I think seated rows aren't as valuable as a lot of people give them credit because they are they're easy. Dumbbell rows and bent over barbell rows are so hard because it uses like every muscle in your body. You're basically doing it's hanging, position from a deadlift and then pulling with your back muscles and everything else. So it's pretty exhausting. Same thing with a dumbbell row.
For sure.
So I think a lot of people prefer the seated cable row because it's just easier on the rest of the body.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So still a pull down potentially.
Yeah.
A little closer together, and then just some facing down rows.
Yeah, bent over row.
And that's where we're going to start finding that maybe our backs will start expanding a little bit.
Yep. I think that's a big thing that people focus the wrong part on. So
There's not a lot that's counterintuitive to me at this point. Like most of it's just like, oh yeah, like I'm the idiot. But that one for there's like that. How was I supposed to know?
right. Yeah. You wouldn't think about it unless you actually can, identify which muscles are working.
Exactly. All right, what's our next one?
Yeah.
So we'll circle back to the first one now, and that
Because
is
now it's good enough.
creatine bloats and how it affects your kidneys.
I like this one because this meme is not so much popular. This is like some bro science video stuff where it was like your mom catches you with creatine and she's like, you're doing steroids.
Throws out your $60 bottle of creatine you bought.
Yeah, exactly. My mother was one of the people who was really anti-creatine growing up.
Yeah.
And it was all because of kidneys.
Oh, yeah.
So first we'll start with the bloat part but we'll talk about what our moms all got mad about. So like for me, I don't understand how creatine could blow you.
Well, if you take way too much and it causes digestional distress, that is bloating. That will bloat you. But you have to take more than like 10 to 15 grams at one time to do that, which is multiple scoops.
Aren't you supposed to take like 5 a day?
Yeah, so like 3 to 7 is like the ideal range based on your body weight. So if you're taking that, which is the recommended amount, then you're going to be fine. Any bloating is just like very, very minor water retention. That it's like unless you're 10% body fat or less, you wouldn't even notice a difference.
And then this comes down to the cat is like playing with the wire on the on the fucking lights right now. But more importantly, when you think about creatine, they always say on it there's like needs to be a loading period, and I love that because I always reference shampoo where it's like, oh, you need to wash, rinse, repeat.
Right.
No one repeat. Same thing with creatine. You don't need to do a loading period.
Yeah, it just takes forever to work. That's the people miss. It's like people do creatine for 1 month and think it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
It's like you have to take creatine for 3 months at that 5 gram dose before it even starts to work. And then after that, you have to keep taking it for it to keep working. So it's like until you get to that 3 month build up point, it's not even started its job yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when I'm about to pick up this cat, don't worry, keep talking. So our parents said that creatine was going to ruin our kidneys.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my mom was so convinced because she said like, it's going to dehydrate you. It's going to cause you to go into like some kind of dialysis situation. Is there any truth to that? Is it even possible?
Well, it's definitely possible if you like really don't do your water hydration properly. Like if you're mainly focused on like, drinking soda or whatever, and you're not taking in any water, then, first off, that's your first problem. But second off, the creatine is just going to make it worse. And I think a big thing that why people associate it with their kidneys is when you break down muscle in workouts, it creates a chemical very similar to creatine called creatinine. I think it's creatine with an IN afterwards.
Creatinine.
I think it's creatinine. That's how you say it, creatinine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, stumbling on those. But basically, that is what gets broken down when you like exercise. And if you overdo it, you have so much creatinine in your body that you go into like kidney failure. So it's like people who get rhabdo, and I have a client that this happened to him, worked out too hard, too much without recovering, and he went into kidney failure.
There's a couple things I want to touch on with that. First of all, getting rhabdo is like one of the rawest things you can do.
Right.
Like people who get rhabdo are typically ultra runners. We're talking
CrossFit athletes.
We're talking like serious.
People in ranger school.
Yeah, right. So what rhabdo is your body is just so beat up that it's your muscles start deteriorating going into your bloodstream, right?
Yeah, it's like they're basically that's what's happening is it's breaking down, and ammonia and creatinine and all these other chemicals are being filtered into your blood, and your kidneys are supposed to filter it, and it can't keep up.
Absolutely. And for those of you on the YouTube channel and those of you listening, the cat wrangling did not work out. I didn't want to go ahead and throw it off like it didn't happen.
She'll get on here eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
She's just going to keep fucking with my wires. Without rhabdo, beside from rhabdo, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know about it at all, there's a very slim chance that's ever going to be a risk for you. Rhabdo is, you have to be either just a freak or just a monster. Those
Like
are the two options. Like
mental warrior.
people who don't feel pain are the ones who get rhabdo. People who can like mentally check out on it.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that with creatine and ruining your kidneys is if you're already not drinking enough water or you're only drinking Pepsi and that's it, you're already ruining your kidneys. I would go so far as to say that if you're considering doing creatine, try to get to be that person that's already drinking almost a gallon a day anyways, if that's a concern of yours. But even then, you could be drinking just a normal amount. You're just going to be kind of dry all the time. You're probably going to want to drink more water.
Yeah. I think one thing my coach says is like hydration is overlooked, but if you're not hitting your, water intake, then you're not hitting your diet.
Yeah.
You're off on your diet. You're off on your plan, and you're failing that if you're not also doing the water part too.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Basics.
I feel sad when I'm dehydrated. That's like one of the things I've noticed. Like every time I get off my water, I start feeling kind of low. And I'm just like, that's when I start getting back on the water. It's like, it's weird. I'm back on the water, but I'm back on the train. It's crazy. Let's go to the next one though. Creatine's good for you. Your mom lied to you. Just drink water.
Yeah. 5 grams a day.
Well, this is one I know that Demitry has a lot of opinions about. You did do a juice cleanse for the channel already,
yes.
correct? So,
yes.
Juice cleanse. Lose weight, or should you just start a diet?
I want to hear from someone who's actually has a real opinion, and then I will give the stupid answer.
Okay. I do like your answer, though. I feel like, don't discredit it. I think it does have merit and value. My point is, I don't think a juice cleanse is good to start out a diet, because what happens is you already start restricting more than you should, and you put yourself in a lower metabolic place than you would if you were like starting a normal deficit and then decreasing over time. So it's like you're already, making the fire smaller before you even start.
So juice cleanses, and I say this from a scientific standpoint, are stupid. They are not smart.
Mm-hmm.
No one should really ever do them. It's kind of like, for me, I feel the same way about people who are doing like water cleanses, like any kind of cleanse. You have a liver, you have kidneys, like you have the facilities for that. So the thing that was cool for me about the juice cleanse to learn about is you're not going to lose weight. You will gain it back immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll lose like a pound. And did I do the full week?
I think you did, right?
I think I did full week. I don't know. I can't remember. There's like a 3-day and a 5-day.
You were going to stop at 5-day and then you kept going, right?
I did a full 7 days. Yeah, I did. And it was terrible. There's 2 benefits, and I'll call them fringe benefits, and I wouldn't recommend them for somebody who's saying like, I can't find a diet that works for me. I can't make this work. It's more for like funnies for someone who like kind of knows what's going on a little bit, or it's like, I'm in bad shape, but it's just more of a choice / laziness. But if you're fully uninformed, I would say just don't do it all. It does a good thing where it does a gut check to remind you that food is fuel, and you kind of learn to be hungry again. There's a whole lot of jokes to be made about in America with like, I don't know if you ever heard about the thing on Twitter with like Beans dad, where like he didn't give his daughter one beans. And she's like, for 6 hours, she tried to open the beans. Everyone's like, you're starving her to death. It's like, it's 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like in America, we have this concept that like, if you feel even the slightest amount of hunger, then you should
how
eat.
dare you? Yeah, it's like not normal,
It gives you like a little bit of a brain check. That's like, like I can be hungry and not die. Weird. The other thing is it sets you up mentally for whatever you eat immediately after that juice cleanse is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So if you say, the second I'm done with this juice cleanse, I'm now going to be on paleo, I'm now going to be a low carb, it will be immediately easier, because whatever is not that juice is going to be awesome.
Yes.
But with that said, if you get out of it and you go down to the Texas Roadhouse and eat like 10 rolls and a big dinner stuff, like that's going to go straight to you. Your body now thinks that you're in a situation where it needs to like maintain that stuff. So that's why I would say overall you shouldn't do it.
Right.
But it is funny. It's mostly just funny.
It was a good mental experiment, right? To kind of see like.
I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
I'll never do it again.
I do think you gained something from it. I just don't think it's like a good approach to someone who diets regularly.
Exactly. And I think it draws in the type of person that is drawn in by quick fixes.
Right.
They want people who, they're the type of people that are like, I'm doing keto because everyone says keto, you'll lose like 10 pounds like a snap. And that's never how it works. It's all water weight. And then when it doesn't work out, you quit. It's just, that's the thing. It's like, and they're overpriced. It costs like it was like $100 for a week, something like that. And it's silly. It's funny. But overall, I'd say big no.
Agreed.
Cool. Next one.
All right. The next one is going to be squats and deadlifts. Are they bad for your joints?
Everything's bad for
If you do them wrong.
I'll say like life is pretty bad for you. Let's start with the squats.
Okay.
People usually say knees, but I would say let's add back.
Knees and back. Okay, let's just do both. Okay, so if you are doing squats incorrectly and your knees are caving in when you squat and you're not bending forward and letting your legs and hamstrings take the weight, then yes, it's going to be bad for those two joints, but that's because you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
In fact, people think counterintuitively that, when you do squats, it actually helps strengthen the muscles around the joints, and specifically like the lower back muscles and the ones that run up and down your spine. If you do heavy squats and you do them often, heavy for you, not like Ronnie Coleman heavy, relatively heavy to your percentages, then you really build and strengthen those muscles to the point where you are less likely to be injured from like day-to-day life activities.
Exactly. I would say that the type of person that says squats hurt their knees, especially, either A, has a previous injury, and you don't get to be included in this conversation because you're now an outlier and we need to set your situation up that's going to work best for you.
Yes.
And then everyone else is typically doing it wrong, especially with people with lighter frames. This is not a girl-guy issue. I've noticed that anybody who is new to squatting, and typically they're really low on the BMI, they do some wonky things with their knees while they're squatting. And it's just because they're typically, A, either not getting good instruction from the person that's helping them, or B, they just went in there and they're like, squat. You almost go into a sit position. So what happens is their knees are too close together, so they start doing this weird pigeon toe thing, and that is disastrous for your knees. It is terrible, and also being that you're already of a light frame, you don't have a lot of the fat to protect you from yourself, and that is where you start seeing problems. That being said, the back thing, as a full-blown little taco boy, I just fold myself in half every single time I squat. Should I fix it? Yes. Have I found a way to make it work for me? Yes. Am I wrong? Yes. If you are doing weird things, you're not in a proper upward position, and you're going to start doing weird, like, good mornings while you squat. And let me tell you what, most people, your legs are a lot stronger than your back. And guess what? If you're squatting big weight and you're doing, your fold ups, your back's going to hurt because your back's not caught up to your legs.
Right. It's taking and doing the work.
It's proper form solves everything. But that being said, you could do proper form and your knees could go out. And I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks. But people like Wes will help you.
Yes. Yeah, that's why you got to do it. You got to be smart about it, guys. I would say like a big part of it is, when you're doing like a deadlift too, is people use their lower back muscles instead of their leg muscles. That's one of the biggest reasons people mess that up. Again, it really builds those stabilizers. I don't know if you've realized or noticed it, but for me, I used to sprain my ankle all the time. Like, when I was in the Army, when I was running, just doing dumb shit out, outside, hiking. And then once I started doing squats and deadlifts normally and regularly, I haven't sprained my ankle since. It's been years.
Yeah. The deadlift is, to this day, and I don't do it as much as I used to, and I should start doing it again, is one of the best all-around workouts. If I had to drop, it's like, okay, bench press, squat, or deadlift, get rid of two, keep one forever, deadlift. Because A, it's going to be the best for your posterior chain. It's going to be great for your core. It's going to build up together. And I would say it's one of the things that people think are like, oh, you got to get rid of the deadlift sooner than later because as you get older, it's bad for you. I watched a video on Instagram recently of a 90-year-old woman deadlifting. Yikes. So if you think that, oh, I'm too old to deadlift, you're wrong. She's stronger than you.
She probably still put up some plates, huh?
I think it was 135.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
She's like a freaking 90-plus-year-old woman, so she's impressive. Freaking killing it.
Yeah.
So what you got to think about is, again, it goes down to form. And then you start getting weird because this is another thing where your professor can really screw you over because you have your standard deadlifts, you have your Romanian deadlifts, you have your wide stance deadlifts. Then you start getting weird and you start doing like, okay, now we're going to do elevated. Now we're going to do deficit.
Yeah.
Not everything's going to work for everyone, and I've done all of them.
Yeah.
And my personal favorites are standard, and I have like a little bit of a Romanian touch to it, just because of like how my body's set up and how my hinges are. I personally can't do wide. However, I would say people that are really bad about like, the wide is more back, right?
Wide. So the sumo stance is more of like, some people say they feel it in their glutes more.
Yeah, there we go.
Because what you're doing is you're starting at like a higher hit point,
And then standard would be more like moons over my hammies.
Yes. So standard, you have the potential to lift the most amount of weight in that position, either sumo or standard, depending on your arm length. But it's arguably the least beneficial for bodybuilding.
Yeah. So
compared to all the other ones,
the reason people belt up for deadlifts is to keep their back straight. Because everyone always talks about this, don't curve your back, don't do this, because then you're going to end up hurting something. You're going to separate a vertebrae or something.
Disc or something. Yeah.
I would say of all the workouts, while the deadlift is great and I think you should do it forever, it is the most likely to hurt you on an ego lift.
Oh, yeah.
This is the
Too many
one where if you see a guy next to you and you start doing like the twisting weird stuff, cranking it, you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Dial the weight back, feel in the muscle.
Exactly. If you get out of your deadlift and you feel like, man, my back kind of hurts. Like are you hurt? Or are you injured? Are your muscles shocked or is your back hurting? If your back is hurting, walk it back, reevaluate, go back into it next week, see what you were doing wrong, because that will be, I would say it's along with squatting. Those are the most likely like career enders right there.
I think the deadlift and the squat, one of the biggest issues, especially, and you kind of said it, especially for people who are already kind of thin and like they don't have extra weight that they're carrying around at all. Most of the times I would say that they are also underdeveloped in like glute areas as well, because it's like that is the biggest muscle in the body, strongest muscle in the body. And it's also where the power starts at the bottom of the squat or the hinge in a deadlift.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, no offense to the people who are holding extra weight, but I think those people have like more glutes than a skinny person because they have to carry it.
The only thing that's great about being fat is that you got your chubby buddies protecting your freaking joints.
Yeah.
You got your chubby buddies protecting your back.
Yes.
It's like if I try to hurt myself, I have fat cells that are pushing against me.
Yeah.
So when you are at a lighter weight, you look great, you look awesome, you're basically a model, you're probably tall and hot. But at the end of the day, if I get punched in the knee, I've got something that's like, ooh, we're going to box that back a little bit. You're taking it right there.
Yeah.
That's all that happens. It's the difference between wrapping like a stick in, I don't know, Play-Doh and trying to break it versus just breaking it dry.
Yeah.
Can they both break? Yes. Is one going to take a little bit more? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're more frail when you're at a very low body fat percentage, so it's like naturally you'd be a little bit less robust on something like that.
To all my thick kings and queens, you are robust. Next one.
I kind of feel personally targeted by that.
You are.
Yeah. And that's funny too, because actually
go do 6 sit-ups, you'll have abs, you'll feel better.
Yeah, I know,
when
right?
I was doing squats, I always had pain afterwards, and I feel like it was because I was trying to ego lift, because
We'll get you fixed.
I did have a trainer, so my form was good. I was just trying too much weight.
The trainer wasn't Wes, so you were wrong.
Okay, so half reps versus full reps.
Wes is the half rep king.
I am now the half rep king. I think that's a big myth that you have to do full reps on everything. We talked about this in I think 2-3 weeks ago.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, a little bit. And basically, you just need to make the muscle work. Unless you're going for like a judged lift on a competition, you need to do the position and the range of motion that makes the muscle you're trying to target or muscle groups that you're trying to target exercise and squeeze the most.
All things done deliberately.
Yeah.
If you are doing the half rep to make it easier, then you're a half rep peasant. If you want to be a half rep king,
Yes.
you're doing a half rep because really you're going all the way up and you're activated, and if you extend all the way to the top of your pull down, it actually feels better up there.
Yeah, you get a break.
Yeah, no, we don't want the break. We're half rep kings.
Yeah.
So you stop right here, and that actually makes it so you never stop being activated. And it's what's going to make you stronger. It's what's going to make you more consistent. It's what's going to create that density. And
Doing it to make it harder, not to make it easier. That's the difference.
When your dad, your football coach, your physical ed teacher
Your
in
professor,
school,
whoever.
yeah, they're going to be the ones who tell you like half reps are bullshit, this, that, and the other. Go look at Arnold when he was working out, and guess who was half repping all the time?
Yeah.
Him. And if he's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, he was half repping, he was swinging the curls, and he was like doing like crazy shoulder things to be flashy. Have we told the group that Arnold created those Arnold curls just to be like an Instagram like star to flex on everyone?
No.
It was like not even a practical exercise. Not Arnold, what are they? Arnold press? Where you go around like this?
So it's up and then like you do a twist.
Yeah, so it was like something that was not even a good exercise, and they went up to him and he's like, "Oh, I got a new exercise to show you." Like he's talking to the
Arnold
camera
press.
people. I invented it. It's called the Arnold press, and you start here and you rotate, blah 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 blah, and then like it was like this flashy thing, and everyone in the gym was so impressed. But really, it was just like that version of the Instagram booty bands, basically.
Early on when I was first started living, I'd watch a lot of Instagram guys, and they'd all be doing the arm press. I don't know what happened, but out of nowhere, all of them stopped doing it, and they actually, some of them took it off their profile because I think everyone suddenly learned, like, oh wait, this isn't beneficial. It just looks cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's so flashy.
But I mean, it looks cool.
Agreed.
It looks cool. What year was it? I'm trying to remember. It was like back in like 2015, 2017 area. It seemed like everyone was doing it for a minute, and then it suddenly went away.
Must have been when his new Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding came out, and then everyone jumped right back on it.
Must have been. All right, what's the next one?
Okay, so we got a couple more left here. Weighted side bends are good for abs, yes or no?
Are they?
No.
I need to go tell every girl in our gym right now.
Yeah, doing those side bends.
They have that thing at the front of the gym. And
And not those. I mean the standing ones.
Oh, the ones where you're going like this?
You lean over with the dumbbell.
What are those good for?
Traps, forearms. It basically, you're not making the obliques work in the right way. The obliques work in a twisting way, not in a bending way.
Oh.
So it's like, and also, if anything, if you're doing it with like the 80-pound weights, what are you trying to make your obliques bigger so your waist looks fatter? No.
I feel like this is a touch point for you. Wes has very enlarged obliques, and he's not allowed to build them to their full capacity because it makes him look thick.
Hey, they're getting better. I think since I haven't trained obliques like that in like years, I think they're finally.
That's when you know you've made it, boys and girls. Is when you get to a point where you're just like, I gotta stop training this muscle because it's really starting to mess with my silhouette.
It was.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. So, but yeah, so we're gonna go and say, okay, actually, let's talk about what are some better things to do for your obliques. So I just mentioned the not even machine. It's like a weird standy thing. Puts you at a diagonal. There's a pad on your hip, and you lean down. Would that be good for your obliques?
Again, I think the biggest issue with that would be if you're doing it weighted, you could bulk that area. If you don't want to do that, I know a lot of like people who are trying to tone or get thinner. That's not what you want to do. If you're a power lifter, hey, get stronger there because you need that. But I would say better exercises to tone your obliques would be like a Russian twist, a bicycle crunch, a hanging leg raise, something like that. Something where you're twisting, not necessarily bending.
Okay, Russian twists are good for you.
Yeah.
They're good. Cool. Next one.
Oh, I was also going to point out the Arnold press started around 2014, so I don't know when Instagram dudes started.
Oh man, I was so close. 2015. I feel good about that. I as soon as you said it, I was like, man, I really hope I didn't misquote that.
Just
Thank
a
you.
year late.
This is what I heard. Fingers, pasta, inside your gut.
Thank you. That's
This is what you're here for.
Already paying off.
Okay, and so the last one we got here, we went way over the top 5 training myths, but last one we got here is going to be the tricep kickbacks.
Yes.
So we're talking bent over
On the bench.
and then you're pulling it back, like you're bringing
With
it
the dumbbell.
up to the sky.
Yes. So bent over with the dumbbell, kicking back, and then lowering it down.
Okay.
So basically, all you're doing is a hold at the top. The rest of the motion, all the bringing from here all the way until right before you lock it out, is nothing. So it's like almost a useless exercise.
The hold is the only thing that matters.
Yes.
So don't do it.
So it's like do it with a cable. Do it with, stand up, grab the cables, and extend.
Is
Done.
this kind of the same as the donkey kick workouts that have become so trendy?
If you use like a band or like a resistance band or the machine, then it's okay. But if you're just like doing it body weight, nah.
Okay, fair. So if you see somebody, especially if they're bigger than you, and you see them doing the kickbacks, go right to them and say, I'll
dumb.
have you know you're incorrect. And if they look upset, just know it's because they think you're smarter than them.
Here's the deal with the kickbacks. Kickbacks were big before cables were really popular, I think. It's like, it's what they did when dumbbells were pretty much all that they had.
Yeah.
But once cables and ropes and pulleys and all that stuff were mainstream, it's like, it was obsolete.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't need to do those anymore. I don't think I ever really did do them.
Right. I see a lot of girls doing it, and I think it's because they get to pop their booty up and just like bend over,
I mean, that's why I do it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to be seen.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's funny because our gym has become much more intimidating in recent history.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what
With the
heck
late
happened.
night crew, is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
the late night crew. It's funny. I've talked to a couple girls, and they will say, I don't really like independence because it's a little bit intimidating as a woman there. And I was always like, what are you talking about? We're all here to get better. Like, I will not go to Independence at like 8.
Yeah, 7:30 or whatever.
I gotta
when they
get
show
there
up.
at like 6 because I gotta be wrapping up by the time that the Silverback crew shows up, and they're about to be like, oh, hey, anything less than 100, it's all you, bud.
Yeah, just like this, see this half of the bench area is all theirs. Don't even go.
Don't even go there. They all got cameras. They all weigh like 300 pounds in a good way.
There's like 100+ pound dumbbells stacked all over in circles around them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you were, if at any point you felt like I was dismissive towards you being intimidated at the gym, I have now eaten my words because it was very scary. And also, I almost died on the bench recently, and it was fun. I told you about this, right?
You were telling me about it. You're like, I need to tell you more. You're like,
yes. So I was benching, and I almost died because I was by myself. It wasn't that much weight. It was just sad. I basically got stuck, and I slowly worked it up, beep, 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 and was racked on one side, moved over, got up there, felt good about myself. I turn around, and one of these giant dudes is just staring at me. Yeah. And first of all, I kind of appreciated it. Yeah. Because he basically knew that I was either going to die or I was going to get there. And I appreciated that he gave me the self-respect to let me die. And then I stand up and he looks at me and he's just like, are you done?
Oh my
God. And I was like, yeah.
He's like, this guy's done. He looks like he's done. Yeah. Or he's dead. Either way, I'm getting this bench.
He's like, this is mine now, right? Like you know that it's over,
either
right?
way.
So that is what I'm dealing with now.
Oh my God.
I respect them. I want to be more like them. I will probably not get as big as them, but I hope one day they'll look at me and think like, hey, that's the guy who almost died, and he would have died before asking for help. Yeah. And that's all I want in this world. Cool. Is there anything else on the list? Are we good?
No, that is going to be the end of the list for you guys.
Yeah.
So I think that's everything. Podcast, go listen to it. Like and subscribe. YouTube, you're here right now. Subscribe. Are you watching? Are you liking?
Click the bell. Ding.
Ding. Yeah. So as always, we appreciate it. BNS_radio if you haven't found the YouTube channel yet. Back in Session Radio if you're getting it from the podcast. We appreciate all of you. And if you have any gym myths that you want us to talk about or any listener questions, please send those our way. Slice, look, you're going to say something.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me on this week, guys.
You'll probably be here next week. Every time.
I was going to say, I will probably be on in the future.
Yeah. Here we go. I don't have to look at things now.
Another voice between you and me droning on. So
yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting there trying to do too many things at once. I'm trying to wrangle cats. I don't have enough to. I had too many jobs. As the official cat wrangler, I have too many jobs. So
look at bonus person. Now we have 3 people on the episode.
Boom, boom.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
Well, thank you very much, guys. We will talk to you next time.